Hello, traders. FX Collector here. Today is Wednesday and it is March 4th. So, how is everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing fairly well. It is Wednesday, and Wednesday is definitely usually a pretty volatile day in the market, so we could potentially see some pretty decent moves today. Let's start off real quick just by looking at the news calendar. And there's not a whole lot on the news calendar today. We had this non-farm payroll news, but this is just an estimate of what Friday's news is going to be. This week is a non-farm payroll week, so we got non-farm payroll on Friday, which is job numbers, which they are expecting to be quite a bit down. So we'll see what happens on Friday for that. You know, that potentially could be a really big mover on Friday. And on Friday during this news event, I will be on a Zoom call with all my premium members of my website. So if you are interested in that, it is fxpipcollector.com. You can read through here, and you can also watch the video on my home screen if you want to learn more about that. But there's a ton of benefits to becoming a member, and it is only $30 per month. So anyways, today we got IMS Service PMI in about 1 hour, and we're going to stick around on this live stream so we can watch the news together, see if there's any potential entries. I'm already in a couple dollar trades, so I'm probably not going to enter any new trades, but I'm hoping that the trades that I'm in are going to move well into profit while we're sitting here. We got somebody speaking today from Canada, which is probably not that big of a deal. Tomorrow we got unemployment claims for the U.S., we got Lagarde speaking tomorrow, and then Friday is non-farm payroll, so that's definitely a pretty big one. And we got retail sales for the dollar. So we definitely got some pretty good news coming out. And then starting on Sunday, we got daylight savings times for US and Canada. So starting on Monday, there's only going to be 4 hours difference between London and New York instead of 5 hours difference, which I always thought that was really good when I lived in the US, just because you don't have to get up quite so early to participate in the London session. So as always, the main purpose of these live streams is definitely to take requests from people in the chats. I'll be more than happy to look at anything you want me to. I don't really care if it's individual stocks. I can look at forex pairs, obviously, any forex pairs. I can look at commodities, cryptocurrency, indices, pretty much anything. You know, any of the metals like gold, silver, platinum, palladium, copper, even stuff like that if you want. So if you have something you want me to look at, definitely put it in the chats. I'll be more than happy to do so. Hey Skylar, hey Alex, how's it going? Nice to see you guys. Hey K Gang, how's it going? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Hopefully people are kind of getting used to the new time. I moved this to 2 p.m. London time instead of 5 p.m. just because, you know, that's a more active time in the market. And plus, you know, at 5 p.m. you know, I'm usually ready to not be sitting in front of my computer all day. So you know, as I am not a super short-term trader, as you can see, I don't even have the short time frames on my chart. I really don't even really like looking at anything below the 1 hour. Sometimes I will look at the 30-minute, maybe the 15-minute, but I'm definitely never going to be looking at the 1 minute or the 5 minute or any of those super short time frames. So anyways, let's start off on the US dollar analysis. And since we have a live stream, I always like to start off on at least a weekly time frame, and I like to go to this one, the DXY. I much prefer the US dollar index because it's equally weighted. The DXY is not equally weighted. But yeah, 4 p.m. my time after school. Awesome. Yeah, that's good. I like this time much better too because then I can finish my live stream at 3 p.m. And then I can go out and enjoy the day. So, anyways, I always like to start off on my live streams going all the way up to the weekly time frame because I still think that the DXY, I know so many people are so bearish the dollar. Everybody thinks the dollar is going down. And to be honest with you, I also think the dollar is going to go down more. I think the dollar is at least going to go down and hit this 78%. I think it's at least going to go down to 94, 95, potentially even lower than that. I mean, it could possibly go down to like 92 even. But the problem is every single person you talk to or hear about is saying bearish dollar, bearish dollar, bearish dollar. Normally, when every single person you hear talks about, you know, bearish dollar, that's a good time to start buying the dollar. So that is one reason why I think the dollar is going to continue to be bullish for several months. The second reason is that this weekly time frame is so clear to me. My old trading mentor, which I spent about 10 years in his group before he actually retired, used to have a saying where he would say the search for clarity. Now the clarity can be on any time frame. Clarity can be on the 1 minute time frame, the 1 hour time frame, the 4 hour time frame, daily time frame, monthly time frame. The time frame doesn't matter. Clarity can literally be on any time frame at any point. It's not like any time frame is going to be clearer than the other. You know, right now I personally think the weekly is extremely clear on the dollar index. And I'm going to change colors so that way maybe you can see what I'm seeing. So I'm going to make the lines big also. So this is impulsive down, obviously. That's very impulsive. And then this is also impulsive down. And then in the middle, we have 1, 2, 3 waves. That is a running ABC right there because it's a lower low. So impulsive, running ABC, and then impulsive. So there's your 3 waves of W. Then we have 3 waves of X. And the reason why I want to spend, 10 minutes or so on this is because, in my opinion, this is so important. If you can conclude that the dollar is going to be bullish for the next several months, then you pretty much know what to do on the euro, the pound, the Aussie, the Kiwi, the dollar CAD, the dollar Swiss. So this one analysis can kind of tell you what to do on all of those pairs. That's why it's so important to me. Now we got impulsive up here, and we have impulsive up here. And then in the middle, we got 1, 2, 3 waves. So there's impulsive, 3 waves, impulsive. Then the most recent price action, we got impulsive down, which in my opinion, ends right here. And then we have, which I'm going to have to make this one a little bit smaller because I think this is actually forming a flat. So let's make it a little bit smaller. We'll switch to pink again. So we got 1, 2, 3 waves up. 1, 2, 3 waves down. We cannot argue the fact that that is 3 waves up. We cannot argue the fact that that is 3 waves down. And that means that we're either going to now have 1, 2, 3 waves up for a 3-3-3 pattern, which is a WXY, or we are going to have 5 waves up, which is what I'm thinking is going to happen for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. So this is either a 3-3-5 or it's a 3-3-3 pattern. If it's a 3-3-5, then it's an expanding. The reason why I think it is an expanding is because this second 3-wave pattern made a new lower low. So that's why I think it's going to be an expanding ABC. And this line is kind of hiding it, but there's a drop-based drop zone right here. And that lines up really well with the 104. And if you look in the past, this area has been pretty important quite a few times in the past also. So, obviously support resistance in the past is probably going to be support and resistance in the future. Yeah, definitely. We'll have a chance to look at everything. So we have impulsive down, 3 waves up, either a 3-3-3 or 3-3-5. Then we should have another impulsive down, which will make this one big again. Then we should have another impulsive down to either the 78 or possibly the 90% Fibonacci retracement of this whole move up. Like I said, the clarity is so good on the weekly time frame that my old mentor used to say the search for clarity. When you find clarity, it doesn't matter what time frame that clarity is on, you need to apply that clarity to all the pairs that you're trading, and you need to apply that clarity to whatever time frame you want to trade. If I think that the weekly is going up for either 5 waves up or 3 waves up, then that means that I basically need to conclude that the euro dollar is going down, the pound dollar is going down, the Aussie dollar is going down, the Kiwi dollar is going down, the dollar CAD is going up, the dollar Swiss is going up. Now, the dollar yen, I always say, is more of a yen pair than a dollar pair. I would always compare that more as a yen pair. And gold and silver do whatever the heck, and platinum, all the metals do whatever the metals want to do. They don't really follow the dollar index like the other dollar pairs do. So in my opinion, this is extremely clear. 3 waves down W, 3 waves up X, then 1, 2, 3 waves down for Y. So I do agree with everybody that says that the dollar is going to be bearish. But I personally think the dollar is not going to be bearish until we hit this 104 area. That means that more than likely, we are going up on the dollar before we go down. I think this is going to go up and it's going to trap everybody in longs, and then it's going to shoot down to the 92 or possibly the 95 area. And yeah, that tells me exactly what to do on the pound dollar. It tells me exactly what to do on the Aussie dollar. It tells me what to do on the euro dollar. It tells me what to do on the Kiwi, the dollar CAD, and the dollar Swiss. So I know I like to spend, 10, 15 minutes every single live stream talking about the dollar index because this is so important to me. This one analysis tells me exactly what to do. Now, as we go down to the sort of time frames, this is where it gets very critical. If you saw my morning video, you know that I think that we are in a very, very, very crucial point right now on the dollar. I have literally been saying for probably about a week or more, probably almost 2 weeks, that this is either an A or a 1. First push up is definitely impulsive, either A or 1. This move down is pretty impulsive too, but I think it's an irregular ABC for B or 2. That means that this current trend that we're in is either a C or it's a wave 3. Excuse me. If it's a wave C, the most likely target for a wave C is always the 100% Fibonacci extension of wave A. So if it's a wave C, this is why I say we're in such a crucial point right now. If it's a wave C, it could definitely turn into a brand new downtrend right here at this 100%, which means if the dollar goes down, then the euro, the pound, the Aussie, the Kiwi, the dollar CAD, our dollar Swiss, we'd have to trade accordingly. If it's not a wave C, but it's actually a wave 3, then this could just act as resistance, and it could make a higher low, and it could continue to make higher highs, higher lows in a wave 3. Because of what I see on the weekly time frame, because of how clear I believe the weekly time frame is, I think this is a 1, I think this is a 2, and I think we're going to keep going up for a wave 3. Now, that's just my opinion, and the market is the only one that knows what's going to happen. So if this does break to the downside at the 100%, I will be more than happy to label this as a wave C, and I'll be more than happy to start looking for shorts on the US dollar index. You can definitely tell when this move is over if you know how to adjust your time frames to search for clarity, and you can follow structure and Fibonacci analysis. There is definitely no proof whatsoever that this move up is over. It definitely could prove it within the next couple of days and do this, but so far there's definitely no proof that the dollar index has not ended its move to the upside. So anyways, like I said, if I'm bullish the dollar, which I definitely am, that means that I'm bearish the euro, the pound, the Aussie, the Kiwi, I'm bullish the dollar CAD, and I'm bullish the dollar Swiss. So I know some of people have been asking, like the Aussie dollar and the pound dollar. Without even looking at those pairs, I know exactly what I want to do on the Aussie dollar, and I know exactly what I want to do on the pound dollar. So anyways, yeah, let's start taking requests. If you have a request, definitely put them in the chats. Skywick, which is a huge fan, he's at most of these live streams, so he's first. He's the first one to request. Thank you, Skywick. We're going to look at the Aussie dollar first. Since it's a live stream, I am going all the way up to the higher time frame, so you can see my higher time frame analysis. I still think that the Aussie dollar is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. Then it's going to make a big pullback for a B, and then it's going to make a big uptrend for a C, which lines up perfectly with my US dollar analysis. So on the monthly, which is a very high time frame, I do agree, I am definitely still very, very, very bullish. Weekly time frame, do we have engulfing down? Do we have a break of structure down? Do we have a significant lower high? There is a little bit of a lower high right there, but that's definitely not, a lower high and then a break to the downside yet, at least. Definitely still an uptrend on the higher time frames. Now, on the daily time frame, like I said this morning in my morning video, we are at a very crucial point in many of these dollar pairs, in my opinion, because this definitely could end up being an ABC correction. This definitely could, turn at this fib level, and it definitely could start another move to the upside. If the dollar index is really a wave C, then this really will keep on going up. Unfortunately, we have no way to know. If anybody says that they know, then they're full of shit. They are just guessing. I have no way of knowing whether this is going to keep on going up or whether it's going to keep on going down. All we can do is make educated guesses. So yeah, we're definitely going to look at gold for sure. We're going to go in line. So if you request something, just wait patiently and I'll look at it in the order they received. We got the Aussie dollar, and then we're going to look at the pound dollar, and then we're going to look at gold. Actually, gold is first, so gold is next. Going down to the 1 hour time frame, we did kind of break up today, but this is kind of an important structure lesson right here, in my opinion. Because a lot of people, I think, would look at this and say that's a break of structure. I would not look at that and say it's a break of structure. Why would I not say that's a break of structure? Because this is a higher low. This could be an ABC pullback within a downtrend, right? If this was a proper break of structure, it should have went down and made a double bottom, and then it should have went up and broke structure. That is not a break of structure. This could be a ABC pullback within a downtrend, which lines up with my dollar analysis perfectly. Going down to the 1 hour time frame, this is where I would do one of two things, or both things, like I have. We have a perfect 5 waves down. As you can see, there's a perfect 5 waves down. We do have a break of structure on the 1 hour. The only thing that this break of structure proves is that the last 5 waves is over, which is pretty obvious anyways, right? These last 5 waves are over. So you put your Fibonacci retracement out here. The green levels are your Fibonacci retracement. The light blue levels are your Fibonacci extension. So I also have Fibonacci extension measuring the potential wave A projected out to the bottom of the potential wave B. If this really is a wave C, then you would expect it to most likely take out the wave A, which it definitely has already done. You would also expect it to turn at a Fibonacci retracement level, and you would expect it to turn at a Fibonacci extension level. We are currently sitting at the 61% Fibonacci retracement, and we are currently sitting at the 61% Fibonacci extension. Yeah, gold is next on the list, so just stick around for a few minutes. We'll look at gold next. Unfortunately, I am not a gold trader. I have never been a gold trader. I analyze gold a lot just because people love it, but I will never and do not have any plans on trading gold. So if you do join my membership, just keep in mind I am not a gold trader. There's a lot of people in the group that are gold traders, but I am definitely not one of them. So anyways, if this is an ABC, which I still think it is, then there's two places where it could turn. It could turn right here, where it's at, which it already has a little bit of a 5-wave shape, and then go down. Or it potentially could go up to 78% because there's an overlapping right here too. So it definitely could push up a little more. We do have some news coming out in about 40 minutes, 39 minutes, so we'll see what happens there. But I would be watching the 61% or the 78% for a potential turn to the downside and potentially the end of an ABC correction. And a lot of this really depends on what kind of trader you are, because I always stop at the 1 hour time frame. But if you trade like the 5-minute time frame or something, then what would you be doing right now? This is definitely higher lows on the 1 hour, right? This is definitely going up on the 1 hour. So if you're trading the 5-minute, then you would be looking for longs right now. If you're trading the 1 hour and above, like I do, then you're waiting for shorts right now. So a lot of my analysis is really relative to what time frame you're trading. Just keep in mind that I am not a short time frame trader. I do not go below the 1 hour time frame. I much prefer trading the 1 hour and up. But if you are trading below the 1 hour time frame, then this is technically going up right now. This is an uptrend on the 1 hour. So that means you would be looking for longs on sort of time frames if you're trading like the 5-minute or something. So anyways, let's move on to gold. Gold is a favorite of so many people. I am not a gold trader. The reason why I don't trade gold is because I am from the United States, and if you're in the United States, you cannot trade gold on a forex margin broker. If you're trading with a funded account, you can trade gold. If you're trading a futures account or just like a one-to-one leverage account with no margin, then you can trade gold. But as a U.S. citizen, you cannot trade gold on a margin account. And forex accounts are margin accounts. So I literally spent 12 years without the option of trading gold. I could not trade gold pretty much my whole trading career. Now that I live in Europe, I can trade gold, but why would I want to? I spent 12 years not trading gold and I made money. So why would I want to start trading gold now after 12 years? For me, gold is not a pair that I trade. I don't trade any of the metals. I just trade forex and forex only. But anyways, a lot of people love gold. I don't really understand why, because I personally think gold is one of the harder pairs to trade. I think it's because gold does move a lot of pips. But if you know anything about risk management and you know that pips don't really matter, I could make just as much money on a 20 pip move on the euro dollar as I could make as somebody else could make on a 400 pip move on gold. I could make exactly the same amount of money on a 20 pip move as somebody else could make on a 400 pip move on gold if you know risk management and how to adjust your lot size compared to how big of a stop loss you need to use. So the excuse that I trade gold because it moves a lot of pips is, in my opinion, is not a valid excuse. But anyways, on this time frame, like I've been saying for 2 weeks now, I mean, it definitely looks like an A. It definitely looks like a B. We definitely do have a little bit of a break. It didn't really hold very well, but we do have a little bit of a break. there is definitely a chance that this is now going down for wave C. If it really is a wave C, then it's probably going to go down and take out the low of wave A. And that is a long ways to the downside. You know, you're probably talking a few thousand pips if you're talking about gold on the daily time frame to the downside. Now the problem is if I go down to the 4 hour time frame, it starts to look like it could be a different analysis. Because on the 4 hour, it looks like 1, 2, 3 waves down. And which I guess we could possibly, if we got time, we could possibly deep dive a little deeper into this. I don't really dive too deep into gold because I'm not a gold trader, but there is a way to confirm whether this is a flat. Because if this is 3 waves down, which it looks like it is, and this is 3 waves up, which it looks like it is, and this is impulsive down, which it looks like it is, then this actually might be continuing back up. The thing is it definitely turned at a Fibonacci level on the daily, and it definitely did break structure on the 4 hours. So, I mean, I personally think that it's more likely it's going down. But with help of Fibonacci analysis, you definitely can potentially know whether it's going down or not. So let's do that real quick. We'll just see here. Let me switch. That's not the one I want. We'll do this one, I guess. If you know anything about Fibonacci and you know anything about Elliott wave, they go hand in hand with each other. A lot of the Elliott wave patterns can be confirmed with Fibonacci levels because a lot of the Elliott wave patterns go to certain Fibonacci levels. And if they don't turn at those levels, then most likely it's not an Elliott wave pattern that you think it potentially is. So anyways, if this, which I don't think this is, honestly, if this right here really is a wave B, then this high right here should have turned at either the 138 or the 123% Fibonacci retracement of this right here, which I can almost already tell that it didn't do that. So what we do is we take Fibonacci retracement, we measure this right here from here to here, which is potentially your wave A. You have to add some extra levels, which, wow, yeah, that is definitely not. If this was really a wave B, then I would have expected it to turn at the 138 or the 132, which is right here. It went way above that. So I already think that this is not a wave B. I already think that this is potentially a top, and I already think that this is potentially already going down. But we can also do one more Fibonacci level to help confirm. If this right here is really a wave C of a flat, then this right here should be 161.8 or 178.6 of this wave A projected on the top of wave B. So let's do that. Use your Fibonacci extension. Yeah, definitely. This is the type of stuff I like to do in the Zoom calls that I do twice a week with my members. Because yes, I do share every single trade that I take with my group at the exact time of entry, but the main purpose for me is to teach you to trade. I don't think anybody is ever going to get rich by following along with somebody else's trades. You definitely can follow along with my trades if you want to, but you're never going to be rich if you don't learn how to trade yourself. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It definitely did turn at a potential Fibonacci level, so I mean, there is definitely a chance, I guess. I mean, this high right here definitely didn't turn at the proper level, but this low right here did turn because your two targets for wave C of an expanding flat is either the 161, 178 or the 261, 278, and this definitely did turn at the 261.8. So I guess there is a chance that it's a flat. If it really is a flat, then this might actually just keep on going up. That's why this morning I said that I think gold is potentially at a really difficult place because it's right in between two fib levels. So it's either going up because it ended a flat, or it's going to keep on going down because it broke structure and it's going to turned on the daily. It's kind of hard to know. I mean, how the hell are you supposed to know, really? I would definitely have my Fibonacci retracement on the move down right here on the 1 hour time frame. That potentially would help you know, at least if you see a turn at a fib level, right, and a break of structure. So how are we going to know? The only way we are going to know if it's going back down is if we see a break of structure at a Fibonacci level on the 1 hour time frame, roughly. The 1 hour time frame, you see high, low, high, low, high, low, high. We do not see a break of structure at a Fibonacci level yet. We are sitting at the 50%. If it goes down and breaks structure, then it's probably going to keep going down. If it makes a higher low, and then goes up, and then makes a higher low, goes up, then makes a higher low, and then goes up, then there's no reason to ever go short, is there? If it just keeps on making higher lows and never breaks structure, then there's no reason to go short. If it makes a higher low, goes up to the 61, makes another higher low, makes a double top, and then breaks structure, that is your indication that it's going back down. And that's why I say if you allow the market to do so, you definitely can kind of know what the next move is going to be. I mean, obviously you're not going to know 100%, but if you do pay attention to your Fibonacci levels and you know a little bit of basic Elliott wave, you definitely can kind of have a pretty good idea of what is going to happen next. I mean, obviously nobody knows for sure, but if it keeps making higher highs, higher lows, then there's no reason to go short. If it turns at a Fibonacci level and breaks structure, then there's definitely a reason to start looking for shorts, right? Anyways, yeah, let's keep on going. We got news coming out in a little less than 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, we got to pay attention to the news. We got IMS news coming out in 30 minutes. Definitely has the potential to be a market mover. The PMISM is definitely potentially a market mover. The problem is right now, I think the world is way more concerned about this than they are about PMI news. This right here is way more concerning to everybody than any IMS news potentially could be. So what is going to happen in Iran over the next week or so, I think is going to be way more important than anything we see on this news calendar. And it's probably, the problem is that this type of stuff is not scheduled. You know, it could come out at any time of the day. You know, at any point during the day, they could make some news about what's going on in Iran, and that is potentially what could move the market like crazy. So this is where, you know, maybe something like financial juice on your cell phone would be a really good help. Because if you have financial juice on your cell phone, then you could get a notification. If something goes on in Iran, then you get a notification on your cell phone, and then you could potentially check your charts to see if it's affecting the market or not. But like I said, IMS definitely does have the potential to move the market, so that's kind of the next thing for us to kind of keep an eye out for. Anyways, what's the next thing on the list? We're going to keep the list going. We got the gold. We had several people request gold. Pound dollar. Pound dollar looked like it already made a short this morning, but man, all the dollar pairs are just really indecisive right now, it seems like. It really seems like really seems like the dollar pairs are waiting for something. Most likely they're waiting to see if there's really a deal between the US and Iran or not. So, in my opinion, this has already made three waves up. If this is an ABC, then pretty much the 78% is the last chance for it to go down. If it doesn't turn down here, then it's probably not going to turn down. If it goes up, which it is, if it makes a higher low goes up and eventually breaks this high, then that is potentially the beginning of a big move on the daily. Going back up to the daily time frame, you know, this definitely did break structure on the daily time frame. Oh, whoops, I'm not even on the right charts. Hold on, let me switch over to the other ones. I much prefer these ones. There we go. Back up to the daily on the pound dollar. There we go. I have way more analysis on these charts. So on the daily time frame, we just recently took out this low, which is probably going to be a pretty important area for support. We also just recently hit the 100% Fibonacci extension of the previous wave projected off the top of the previous correction. The 100% is usually a pretty big area of support also. You know, there's a lot of symmetry in the market. The market likes to be very symmetric. So when you're at 100% of the previous wave, that is the market being symmetric, and the market likes to be symmetric, in my opinion. So this definitely could start a brand new move up. If you have been here since the beginning of my live stream, you know that I said that the dollar could be a wave C, and that the dollar is a wave C, then this will go up. I also said the dollar could be a wave 3, and if the dollar is a wave 3, then it will not engulf up, but instead it will continue to make lower lows, lower highs. So right now, there's no engulfing up. There's no break of structure up. The only reason we would be bullish at all is because we just broke structure and we're at a pretty important Fibonacci level for potentially support. Beyond that, there's no proof. Just because we broke this and just because we're at a fib level doesn't mean that it can't keep on going down. If it does go up, then fine, we'll just start looking for longs after it's confirmed, right? So going down to the 1 hour time frame, like I said, this is where it's getting to be pretty important because we have 5 waves down on the 1 hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a break of structure. We know for a fact on the 1 hour time frame that this wave from here to here is complete. So this could be a wave A, this could be a wave B, this could be a wave C. It definitely already pulled back a lot at the 78%. There's a chance that today's news could cause this to go down. If today's news causes it to go up and break structure, then that's pretty much going to confirm that this is a important structure, not important structure, but important support on the daily time frame. And it potentially is just going to keep on going up if this right here really is an important area on the daily, which it looks like it potentially could be. So pretty similar analysis to the Aussie and the Euro dollar, definitely. Let's keep on going. Pound dollar. I'm not really sure what that crypto is. I could probably take a look. Let me look at pound yen first, just because that's something I do actually analyze. These are the pairs that I trade right here. I don't trade gold, like I said, but I do analyze it a lot because a lot of people do trade gold and a lot of people absolutely love gold. So I do keep up with it and I do analyze it, but for me personally, I do not trade gold. But everything else on this list I do trade. The pound yen, that's what we're looking at. This thing looks so corrective, doesn't it? I don't know, guys. I think that it could potentially keep going up. The monthly time frame never did hit a Fibonacci level. It's still definitely bullish. The weekly time frame broke structure, but that doesn't mean that it potentially isn't like a flat to the uptrend. This is the yen pairs on like the daily time frame do look like they could be going up. I mean, this looks like a potential A, this looks like a B, this looks like a C, and it looks like this could just keep on going up. Especially because this right here, look how corrective this is. Another thing that my mentor used to say to us all the time, he used to have a lot of really good sayings, and I often refer to him because I spent 10 years trading underneath him, is you really only need to know the difference between impulsive and corrective. This whole move up right here happened in 2 or 3 candles. This move sideways move has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 or 6 candles. So it took 2 candles for price to go from here to here, and it's taken 5 candles for price to only go to 61% of that move. That means that this move right here, relative to this move, is so far corrective. And impulsive versus corrective almost always leads to another impulsive. So there probably is a pretty good chance that we're going to get another impulsive move when the market is ready. And we are definitely bouncing off this 61% several times now, so I think there's a good chance we're going to make another move to the upside when it's ready. Right now, to be honest with you, the daily time frame is telling you to look for shorts. You know, we have engulfing down. So for now, the market is telling you to look for shorts, but boy, you definitely want to keep an eye out for some longs also because price has bounced off this 61% so many times now. If it breaks structure to the upside, it potentially is just going to keep on going. Like I said in my morning video, I think the best thing for us to do now is put our Fibonacci extension from here to here and then project it off of this low. Because these blue Fibonacci levels, which I know these levels are really small, but I keep them small on purpose because I like to keep my charts as clean as possible. You notice that I don't have a bunch of indicators on my chart. I don't have a bunch of labels on my chart. I do that purposely because the most important thing is price action. You know, labeling and putting indicators all over your chart usually doesn't really help you make any money. So one of these Fibonacci levels could act as resistance and it could break structure to the downside. Especially because this is a higher low right here, so we could get like a triangle like that and then go down, or we could get it to go up, take out this high and then reject it and go down, or it could potentially just keep on going up, right? So obviously there's a lot of different options and that's pretty common in the market, but we are definitely primarily still looking for longs. Shorts, I'm sorry, we're primarily looking for shorts. So if it engulfs to the downside at a Fibonacci level, I would still go short. Technically, the trend is definitely still down, and the trend could keep on going down very, very, very easily. Yeah, US dollar yen. I'm actually long on the dollar yen. I've been long for a couple hours now, and really, boy, that's really struggling to do anything, but I was really hesitant about going long on this one, and the reason why is because we're sitting at the 100% Fibonacci extension. So I have my Fibonacci extension from here to here projected off of here. So what we have here is we have an impulsive down with several breaks of structure. It broke structure several times on the left here. Then we have impulsive up, could be a wave A. We have correct. I mean, the move down is pretty impulsive too, but could be a wave B. And then we definitely have impulsive up again for potentially a wave C. If this really is an ABC correction, then this 100% Fibonacci extension would definitely be the area where it would turn to the downside. The problem is when I look at all the yen pairs look like they might keep going up. So this and my dollar analysis, my US dollar analysis also tells me that it might just keep on going up. So, I am definitely very, very bullish on this. I really don't see any reason as of yet to say that this is going down in any significant way whatsoever. I am actually long on this, and the reason why I'm long is because it made what looks like 1, 2, 3 waves down, A, 1, 2, 3 waves up, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, C. And just like on gold, the important level for an expanding pattern, which is basically like an expanding triangle, is the 161, 178. Price spiked right to the 161, 178 today and then made a move to the upside, which is why I went long. And if it really is the end of an ABC, then it should go up and at least take out the previous highs. Doesn't mean that it may not continue to respect this area and then later on go down, but to me it looks bullish. It looks like it potentially is going to keep on going up. So I am definitely looking for longs on this for sure. I'm already long, like I said. And like I said, every single trade I take, I do share with my group at the exact time of entry. The main purpose of my membership is definitely not to be a trade signal service, but I do share all the trades I take with the group at the exact time of entry. So if you do want to follow along with my trades, then you're definitely more than welcome to. But the main purpose is to build a community of like-minded traders to help each other out. So if you haven't done so already, definitely do check out my website. It is only $30 a month. It's extremely cheap. And you get a lot of benefits. So definitely check that out if you haven't done so already. If anybody else has any requests, we're going to look at hopefully this guy is still here, Terry Backup. We're going to look at his cryptocurrency, Hyper USDT. But if anybody else has any requests, we got about 20 minutes, 19 minutes until the news comes out. When the news comes out, we're definitely going to want to pay attention to the US dollar pairs, especially the dollar index. We got about 18 or 19 minutes until the news comes out. IMS PMI, which, like I said, the market may not really care about this news. They may be more worried about Iran. I know I would be more worried about Iran than PMI news, definitely. So let's look at cryptocurrency, and then we'll look at oil for K-Gang. No problem, definitely. All right, let's see. Do I have that already on my crypto list? Crypto. I think I probably do. I have a big list of cryptocurrencies. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe I don't have it. I don't see it. Yeah, I guess I don't have it. So let's see here. What do we got? So Hyper USDT. Like I said, we're gonna definitely focus on the dollar pairs in about 15 minutes, but we will spend a little bit more time analyzing whatever people want. Let's see. Hyper USDT. Seems like I already looked at this before, but maybe not. I guess not. First thing I do when I look at something new is I go all the way up to the higher time frames. Even though there's not a lot of data on the monthly, this is definitely a swing high, this is definitely a swing low, this is a higher high, and this so far is a higher low. So technically we are in a move to the upside on the daily time, on the monthly time frame. Going down to the weekly time frame, we just recently had a break of structure to the upside on the weekly after making 5 waves down. That's actually a pretty big clue in my eyes. I think we're in a wave B, which if I remember correctly, I also think we're in a wave B on Bitcoin too. So I can analyze silver. I don't analyze it on a regular basis, but I definitely can look at it. So I think we're in a wave B on this. So what would I do? I would put my Fibonacci retracement on the whole push down. And I would expect it to take out the previous high right here. So my target would be either the 50 or the 61%, I think, because there's a ton of support and resistance in that area right there. So that right there, I think, would be my most likely target, which is like the 80, 44, 45, someplace between 44 and 45 would be my target. Then you go down to this time frame, and now Fibonacci extension, in my opinion, is going to be your best friend. Which really you could have done Fibonacci extension on the other time frame also. See if we got any Fibonacci clusters. Oh yeah, look at that. The 100% Fibonacci cluster extension lines up perfectly with the 61% Fibonacci retracement right around $44 to $45. So I think this area right here is probably going to be your most likely target for this whole move up. And I think that it's going to go down. I think this is impulsive, corrective, impulsive, and then probably back up. I think that cryptocurrency is not going to continue its uptrend for quite some time, maybe like at the end of the year, like next, October, November, December, something like that. So I definitely on the short time frames would be looking for longs every single chance I get. Actually, look at this. Wow, that's a beautiful expanding flight there. That's a beautiful trade. This is a beautiful ABC three-way pullback right there. I would be doing nothing but looking for longs. Every time I made a move to the downside, I would be looking at that as nothing more than a possibility to go long again for the continuation of the uptrend. So I definitely would be looking for longs on pullbacks. I wouldn't be trying to go long right now. I'd be only looking for longs on proper pullbacks, but definitely looking for longs on pullbacks. Excuse me. Take a look at oil. Wow, oil is headed up big time. I've been saying, you can watch my live streams from a year ago, and I've been saying that oil is going to go to $100 per barrel because of the pattern that we're in. I think that this is a W. I think this is an X. I think we're now in a wave Y. I think this is an A, B, C of Y. I think we're going up to about $100 per barrel before we end up going back down. So I'm very, very bullish on oil. Definitely looks like we're in a wave three, doesn't it? I mean, there's a one, there's a two. This is definitely wave three looking price action. We are approaching a previous support area, resistance area, so could possibly make a pullback right there. But yeah, definitely very, very bullish. No breaker structure yet. And if it really is a wave three, it may not break structure. It may continue to make higher highs, higher lows. So this is your structure right here. That's the most recent swing low before it went up and made a new swing high. So this definitely could be just an ABC pullback within an uptrend. It definitely could go to the 61 to 78% and then continue up from there. And it doesn't even have to take out the low. I mean, look at that. That's impulsive. That's 1, 2, 3 waves. This is impulsive. It could turn to any one of these fib levels, the 50 to 61 or the 78%. I personally would be doing nothing but looking for logs. I would definitely be doing nothing but looking for logs also. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be looking for longs on that crypto for sure. You think gold's gonna hit 6,000? I don't know. It definitely could. I wouldn't be surprised if gold hit freaking 8, 10,000 within the next year or so, honestly. There's no reason to say that the uptrend is over on gold on the monthly, the weekly, the daily, any time frame. There's no end of a trend on any time frame on gold. Speaking of gold, somebody asked me to look at silver, which is obviously very correlated. I don't know. I really think that gold and silver are actually heading down right now, though. I think this is an A. I think this is a B. We turned right at the 100%. I think this is now going down. I think it's going to go down, take out this low, and then maybe it'll continue the uptrend. So I definitely disagree. I do think that gold may continue, hit 6,000 at some point, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think it's going to happen maybe this fall or something. Could be wrong though, definitely. I don't trade gold or silver, so I don't really have much of a care, to be honest with you. I analyze it for other people, but I don't personally trade it myself. If this really is the wave C, then I would expect it to probably go at least to the 61%, which is right around $62 or something. $61, someplace right in there is probably. So I would definitely be looking for shorts on silver, 100%. Oh wow, it looks like it's going down. Ooh, dollar is trying to push up a little too. Good. Like I said, I'm in a few trades right now. I'm in a few dollar trades, and every single one of those trades I did share with my group at the exact time of entry. I use a robot to share the trade, so it's any trade I take, whether it's on my computer, my cell phone, my tablet, any trade I take, anytime I move my stop loss, anytime I move my take profit, every single adjustment to any trade I take is automatically posted on Discord. So this is my Discord community right here. Oh, what's that? This is my Discord community right here, and this is for members only, but that's the community. You have to be a member of my website to join. Let's see here. Yeah, I would be looking for shorts. I actually think there's a pretty good chance that that was a short several hours ago. Almost 3 hours ago, I think the gold made a short. I don't, I personally think it's probably going to keep on going down. Let me see here. Okay, so definitely looking for shorts. What is this news? Iran denies intelligence ministry reads out as yay for talks. See, this is why I like being in a group so much because I'm not watching the news right now because I'm in a live stream. Iran denies. This is obviously from Financial Juice. Let's see, reacts out to CIA for talks. Iran semi-officials Tassim City's ministry source in India. I don't even know what that means. Iran denies intelligence of the CIA or something, I guess. We got about 9 minutes until the news comes out, but boy, I really think that the market cares way more today about what's going on with the Iran than it cares about the PMI news. So we definitely want to see what happens with this for sure. So the trades that I'm in is I'm already long the dollar Swiss, I'm short the euro dollar, and I'm long the dollar yen. Whether or not they turn out to be good trades, I have no idea. Time will tell. It's not like every trade is a winner. You have winners, you have losers. You have to be okay with losing a trade here and there because that's all part of the game. Nobody wins 100% of the time. I was getting roughly a 75% win rate, but I had a couple losing trades, so I'm probably more like a 65 to 60% win rate right now. But definitely been doing pretty well with that 1K funded 1K account that I'm trying to turn into two, trying to turn 1,000 euros into 10,000 euros using the Kelly criteria formula. The dollar really looks like it wants to go up again, but to be honest, the dollar index actually kind of looks like it might do a little bit of a stop hunt first. So it didn't really hit that Fibonacci level very well. It kind of looks like it might do that. Might even take out the lows and you really, try to trap everybody before it actually goes up. The dollar has been very sideways for most of the day. It really seems like everybody is waiting to hear more news about Iran or something. It really seems like the dollar is definitely waiting for something. And more than likely, it's probably waiting for what's going on with Iran, whether they're going to accept that peace offer or whatever's going on. I personally don't watch the news anymore because I'm kind of anti-news this year. I do believe that the news is filled with a lot of propaganda, and I'm not really too interested in being involved in it. But obviously, stuff like this affects the market in a big way, so we definitely do have to pay attention to things like this. We got about 7 minutes until news comes out, so let's see what happens. Gold's pushing down, I think. Yeah. It's not really pushing down very hard, though, is it? Like I said, if it breaks structure at the 50%, then it's going to keep on going down. If it makes a higher low, like engulfing up with a higher low, then it's probably going to just keep on going up. And if it keeps making higher highs, higher lows, then there's really no reason to go short, right? Like I was explaining before, if it doesn't break structure to the downside at a Fibonacci level, there's really no reason to think it's going down, is there? Just because you get a Fibonacci engulfing down at a Fibonacci level doesn't really necessarily mean that it's a turn. It definitely did engulf down at the 50%. And silver really does make you think that it's going to keep going down because silver looks way more convincing that it's going down than gold does. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We're going to watch the news together, but after that, we'll probably part ways and we'll come back next Wednesday. Boy, the pound dollar looks like it's ready to go down. Aussie dollar looks like, honestly, the Aussie dollar does kind of look like it could try to pop up one more time, maybe to 78%. Dollar CAD also looks like it could try to go up. That dollar CAD does look like it made another three-way pattern also, like another ABC. That right there was an ABC yesterday too, so that was a pretty decent little trade right there. That right, that right there was an ABC also right there, so obviously in hindsight it's easy to say, oh look, there's a nice trade right there, there's a nice trade right there, but if you're, the whole key is to be available at these times. Are you available to enter these trades at the time of them, as at the time of the entry? If you're not, then you probably missed the trade. One of the reasons why I don't trade the super short time frames is because I don't want to be available all day long to watch the 5 minute time frame and the 1 minute time frame. I honestly can't really think of anything more miserable than sitting in front of my charts for 8, 10, 12 hours a day watching the 5 minute or the 1 minute time frame. Now, I do think that if you are a scalper and you scalp for maybe 2 hours and that, 2 hours at London Open or 2 hours at Asian Open or 2 hours at New York Open, and then win, lose, or draw, you quit for the day, then that's a really good strategy. That something like that I could definitely get behind. Trading the 1 minute time frame for like the first 2 hours of New York Open or the first 2 hours of London Open. That is a really good way to go. But in my opinion, most people that I know that are scalpers, they spend 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day watching those short time frames. And I personally couldn't think of anything more miserable than watching those super, super short time frames like that all day long like that. You know, you might as well just go out and get a full-time job if that's what you're going to do. Let's see if these moves hold. It's been about 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 hours that the euro dollar's done almost nothing. Same thing on the pound dollar and the Aussie dollar. Dollar CAD's been moving a little bit. Dollar Swiss been pretty sideways. Gold is even a little bit on the sideways move. I know all the gold traders are going to say, oh, yeah, this is sideways, but, this is 300 pips, and this is 200 pips, and this is 200 pips, but this is sideways, in my opinion. I don't care how many pips it is. Let's see. I'm still looking for shorts on the euro yen. I could possibly try to make a short. Still looking for shorts on the pound yen. Looking for longs on the Aussie yen, where there was definitely a trade on the Aussie yen, but it happened at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't get up until about 6, 6:30, so I missed that one. I'm looking for longs on the CAD yen. I'm looking for shorts on the Swiss yen. Boy, that Swiss yen and euro yen look like they could make a trade. I'm looking for shorts on the Yo Aussie, which there was a trade at 5 o'clock this morning on the Yo Aussie before I got out of bed. Same thing on the Pound Aussie. There was a trade this morning at 5 o'clock, which happens. You're not going to be available for every single trade. You still need to get a decent night's sleep. These, in my opinion, if a trade happens while you're sleeping, then it's fine. It's just a missed trade. It's not the end of the world. You can't be awake 24 hours a day. And if you are, then you're probably not making good trading decisions anyways. All right, what do we got for time? We got 1 minute and 35 seconds until the news comes out. So let's just sit here and see what happens. Hopefully the euro dollar suits down. Hopefully the dollar index suits up, but I could definitely see anything happening. Like I said, we're at an extremely crucial point on the dollar index right now because we're at the 100% Fibonacci extension. If this is really an A, and this is really a B, and this is really a C, then this 100% Fibonacci extension right here would be exactly where you would expect us to turn down and start a brand new downtrend. If this really is a wave C, then it would likely go down and take out the previous lows also, which means that the euro, the pound, the Aussie would go up, the dollar CAD, dollar Swiss would keep going down. I still think because of the weekly time frame that this is a 1, 2, 3, and I think that this is just acting as resistance, and I think it's going to continue to make higher highs, higher lows, and I think it's going to keep on going up. But I am more than happy if it doesn't do that, but instead decides to do this. I'll be more than happy to start looking for shorts on the dollar when it proves that it's time to start looking for shorts. Until that happens, I'm trading with the trend, and the trend is definitely up on the dollar, and trend is definitely down on the euro dollar, trend is definitely down on the pound dollar, trend is definitely down on the Aussie dollar, up on the dollar CAD, up on the dollar Swiss, and gold may have turned down. Gold doesn't follow the dollar index, so let me make sure that I'm logged into my trading account on TradingView, which I am. All right, let's see, we got 2 seconds. Oh, definitely a little bit of a jump. Come on, strong dollar. I have a feeling this news is going to be a little bit of a dud, but I would hope I'm wrong. I kind of hope that it's not. But I'm pretty sure that the world is way more concerned about Iran than it is PMI. Yeah, it started to move for a second, didn't it? But it didn't really do much. Yeah, news is actually very positive for the dollar. Wow, PMI is way high. We went from 53.6 to 56.1. That's very positive for the dollar. Anything above 50 is considered good for the economy, and that is way above 50. The US economy, even though people keep saying how bad it is, the US economy is doing really good right now, and it's been doing really good for quite a while. And love him or hate him, whether you love Trump or hate Trump, he's definitely been good for the US economy. There's no doubt about that. A lot of it might be fake, fake money in the stock market, but speaking of, did the indices make much of a turn when the market opened today? Boy, that S&P 500 does kind of look like it. Oh boy, it's until you go up to the daily. And on the daily, it looks like it's going to keep going up, doesn't it? It looks like it just keeps on rejecting structure. It's going to keep on going up. On the 1 hour time frame, it potentially could be trying to make a short. I don't think I would want to short the indices yet. The indices are still very strong, and the Feds are still buying their own stock market. So that's one of the reasons why the indices have been so strong this year, is because the U.S. government is buying its own stocks now, starting this last year. It could go either way on gold. Like I said, I do analyze gold several times a day just because other people love it, but gold is 100% not a pair that I enjoy trading and not a pair that I personally do trade. And I honestly think that gold is probably one of the more difficult pairs to trade. But I think if the 15-minute time frame breaks structure to the upside, then you're absolutely right. Yeah, I do agree. I mean, this looks pretty corrective, so if it breaks up, then it's probably going to keep going up. If it doesn't, this is the 15-minute time frame is where you can see structure. There's a swing high, there's a lower high, there's a lower high. If it doesn't break that lower high, but instead makes another lower high, another lower high, another lower high, then you would just keep on looking for shorts, right? On the other hand, if it does break the lower high series by either making a very significant higher low, or preferably by actually breaking structure, then it's probably going back up. Oh, come on, dollar pairs. I'm hoping to see some profits today. Ben, I was all excited that this week was going to be very trendy because of everything going on, but so far this week really hasn't been that trendy yet. we started off on some good trends, but boy, today and most of yesterday was unfortunately yesterday the move started in the Asian session. So when I get up, the move had already started, and I refuse to chase price. So if the move starts in the Asian session, you can't really chase it. You gotta just let it wait patiently for a new entry. Not really a whole lot going on. Not really the big giant movers like I would like to see. The euro dollar looks like a short to me. The pound dollar looks like it's trying to go short. Aussie dollar looks like it's trying to go short. Dollar CAD kinda looks like it's trying to go up, not very convincing. Dollar Swiss looks like it's trying to go up. This is one of the trades I'm in, is the dollar Swiss. For now, like I said, for now, gold is going down until it breaks to the upside. I would be looking at this as possibly making a move down. So I would be bearish on gold to tell you the truth. And I'm also long on the dollar yen already. This is another trade that I shared with my group at the exact time of entry. It's not like I got a whole lot of profit yet. I got in right here, so I'm just barely sitting in profit, but I'm hoping to at least take it back up to these highs today. That would be pretty nice. And the dollar Swiss, I'm already long. I got long on that over here, so I'm already long the dollar Swiss, and I'm already short the euro dollar from this morning. So those are the trades that I said with the group at the exact time of entry. If anybody is interested in joining my website, it is fxpipcollector.com. It is only 30 US dollars per month. I like to call it learn and earn at the same time because the whole purpose is for you to learn how to trade. But if you want to follow along with my trades, you're definitely more than happy to. I am currently trying to turn 1,000 euros into 10,000 euros within the next couple months. If I can do that, then I'm going to try to turn that 10,000 euros into 100,000 euros by the end of the year. If I can do that by the end of the year, then next year I'm going to try to turn 100,000 euros into 1 million euros. So if you want to follow along with all the trades that I take, every single trade I take for this challenge that I'm doing for myself, I share with the group at the exact time of entry for 30 US dollars per month. One trade could pay for this membership for the whole month. I keep it extremely cheap because I want it to be affordable. It comes with a trading course. So it comes with a trading course, 34 videos. It comes with a ton of educational information on Discord. And it also comes with access to my Discord channel, which is a members only Discord channel where I try to post charts several times a day and try to keep up with what's going on in the markets. Try to let you guys know what I'm looking for and why I'm looking for it. Try to explain my entries instead of just getting into trade. I try to explain why I entered the trade. So anyways, I do these live streams every Wednesday at 2 p.m. London time or at, 9 a.m. New York time. So definitely make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube so you don't miss out on my future live streams. And as always, thank you for watching and see you next week and happy trading to everyone.